Okay, prep career students. This assignment, Jayden's earning statement. This is quite important because once you get a job and you're keeping track, like we kept track of our hours and how many hours we worked and our hourly rate, that information of how many hours you work is going to be put into your earnings statement because now you have to have payroll deductions taken out of your paycheck to support the things such as, you know, schools and roads and social security that helps with people who are retired, elderly, disabled. It also payroll deductions um, also are things like if you have medical insurance or if you have life insurance or you are saving for your retirement and that money goes into a savings account um, or a health savings account, which is your money put into a account to pay medical bills and medical costs. So it's all very important. When you work, you need to keep track of the hours that you work and then the things that are deducted and where's your money going. It's so important to know what money is coming in and where money is going. So money coming in is your income and money going out is your expenses. So, income is a lot of also could be called earnings. So, your earning statement. What do you earn from your job? This is specifically what you earn from your job. So, here we have an example of a earning statement, which nowadays these are posted online probably or electronic versus you getting it with a physical actual check. Everything's mostly electronic now, but for this earnings statement, we're going to review it. So here is Jayden, the employee. His name is Jayden. And this specific earnings statement is what he worked from the date of 6/1, which is June 1st, to June 14th. So June 1st to June 14th is 2 weeks. So we know by looking at this earnings statement that Jayden is getting paid every 2 weeks. Can you find the dates 6/1 to 6/14? Can you find that on the earnings statement? Okay, so now we're going to go to earnings and then there's a side that says deductions. Do you see? Point to where it says earnings. Now point to where it says deductions. Okay, so this side first, we're going to look at the left side, which is earnings. And under earnings, there are some columns that say description, hours, rate, and amount. Do you see those different columns? Description, hours, rate, amount. So, under the description, earnings description, these are regular hours or overtime hours. So, your earnings are the money you make on your job. Some of the hours are your regular pay for a regular work week. A regular work week is considered 40 hours. 40 hours a week, Sunday through Saturday, or Monday through Sunday, or however they count their week. A regular week whatever 7 days they count is 40 hours is a regular typical work week. Okay, that's regular, 40 hours a week. Then overtime is anything that you work over those 40 hours a week. So anything over 40 hours. Now, it's important to know about overtime because employers pay a different rate, which is a better, higher rate of pay. You get paid more when you work hours that are considered overtime or over the 40 hours. Okay, so it's important that if you do work over 40 hours that you keep track of how much time you work over 40 hours because you're going to get more pay for those hours. Okay, that's why it's super important to know this stuff and to make sure that you're paying attention to what you're working, how much you're getting paid, where your money's going. This is so important. So for 2 weeks, because that's what this earning statement is talking about, 2 weeks. In this 2-week amount, this 2-week period, Jayden, now we're going to go to the hours column. Jayden worked 80 hours regular pay. So that means for those 2 weeks, he worked for at least 40 hours one week and 40 hours the second week. Okay. So he worked full time both of those weeks, 40 hours and 40 hours, because 40 plus 40 equals 80. Makes sense? 40 plus 40 equals 80. So he worked his full time hours both the first week, 6/1 to 6/7, and the second week, 6/8 to 6/14. Now, he has 3 hours of overtime. So that means either in the first week or the second week, he worked over the 40 hours. It doesn't say here, it doesn't specify which week he worked and how much he worked each week overtime. It just says total, he worked 3 hours overtime in those 2 weeks. So again, this is a summary. An earnings statement is a summary. It just kind of gives you a summary of what he did for those 2 weeks. So in those 2 weeks, he worked 80 hours regular pay and 3 hours overtime pay. Okay, so we're going to go to the next column that says rate. Does everybody see rate? Okay, so if we look across, for regular time, he worked 80 hours, and for those 80 hours, he gets $15 an hour. Okay, so for those 80 hours, he worked, he was paid $15 an hour. So if you take 80 hours times $15, that's when you'll get your amount. Okay. So the next one, overtime, he worked 3 hours of overtime. In those 2 weeks, he worked 3 hours of overtime. And for those hours, this company pays him $22.50. So if you multiply 3 times $22.50, then you'll get the amount. Okay, and those amounts are here on the next column where it says amount, AMOUNT, amount. In that column, it shows you how much he got paid for his regular hours. So for his 80 hours he worked, times the $15 an hour that he earned, he made $1,200. So for those 80 hours, he got paid $15 an hour and he got $1,200. Now for overtime, the 3 hours overtime he worked, he made $22.50 an hour. So we're going to take 3 hours times $22.50, and his amount for that is $67.50. Okay. So now we're going to take these two amounts in the amount column, the $1,200 and the $67.50, and we're going to add those up and we're going to get the total. So if you look directly down from the amount column, go down, 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 and it will say total, Total, total. And for this pay period, he made a total for those 83 hours, because 80 plus 3 is 83. For those 83 hours he worked this 2 weeks, he got paid $1,267.50. So that money right there, that amount, that total is considered his gross pay. Your gross pay is simply taking your rate of pay, multiplying it by the hours you worked, and that's your money. And for this case, Jayden, for his $83 an hour, or 83 hours, whether it was $15 an hour or $22.50 an hour, for those 83 hours, he was paid $1,267.50. That was his total. So this is called your gross pay. And that is also here found if you go down to the bottom on the left-hand side, it says gross pay, GROSS pay. Do you see where at the very bottom of this earnings statement, it says gross pay? That is his gross pay. And you will see in the box just to the right of that word, gross pay, it will be the same number, the $1,267.50 that you find in the total of how much he earned. Okay. All right. So when you get your paycheck and you see that you've earned $1,267.50, you're going to see that there's money taken away from that amount, and that is not how much he's going to get paid. That's just the gross pay. Now, the amount that is going in his paycheck is going to be something different. It is going to be his net pay, NETPAY, net pay. So if you see where it says gross pay, you look below it and it's net pay. That is $760.50. Okay. So $760.50. That's how much he's taking home with him. Net pay is also what you call take home pay. So his paycheck is not going to be for $1,267.50. That amount will be on his paycheck, but that's not how much the check will be written out, or that's not how much will be deposited into his bank account. In his bank account, he's going to see the number $760.50. Now, you might be wondering, well, he made $1,267.50, but he's only getting $760.50. Yes. And the reason is the right side of this earning statement, which is called deductions. DEDUCTIONS, deductions. Look back up to the right-hand side, top of the right-hand side of this earning statement. Deductions, you have over here underneath the dates from 6/1 to 6/14. Do you see where it says deductions right underneath that? So deductions, these are the items that come out of your paycheck. They are subtracted, they are minused, they are taken away from your paycheck, because you are required, it is mandatory to pay certain things such as federal tax, state tax, Social Security. You are mandated to pay those things. Then you have optional things that you've elected to take from health insurance and 401k savings. I will say the health insurance may actually kind of be considered mandatory due to the fact that you're required to have it, and if you don't, then you pay a tax on your when you file taxes. You have so, but we're not going to go into all that. So anyways, deductions means minus. You're deducting, you're taking away, taking away. So below the word deductions, there's a word description and amount. There's two columns. The description just describes. That's what a description means. It describes. So in that column, you see description, you see federal tax, state tax, Social Security, health insurance, 401k savings. Okay, so those are all the descriptions. Then you have the amount on the right-hand side of that. And that tells you everything that you're taking out, the amount that's being taken out. So for this pay period on this earnings statement, the federal tax deduction taking away out of his account, out of his paycheck, not his account, out of his paycheck, $228.15. $228.15 was removed from his paycheck, from Jayden's paycheck, to pay federal tax. The next one, state tax. $101.40. You look and you see $101.40 was removed, was deducted, was subtracted from Jayden's account to pay for state tax. Social Security. Social Security, there was $76.05 taken out of Jayden's paycheck to pay towards Social Security. The next item is health insurance. $63.38 was paid towards health insurance, was taken out of Jayden's check to pay his health insurance, his medical insurance. And then finally, the last deduction that's listed here is 401k savings. Jayden has set up an account for money to go directly into a savings account for retirement. And that deduction was $38.02. So all of these things, federal tax, state tax, Social Security, health insurance, 401k savings, all of those deductions totaled up to, if you keep going to the next line, total, T-O-T-A-L, total $500, $507.00. $507 was deducted from Jayden's gross pay, which was $1,267.50 for this pay period. Now, every pay period, these amounts will differ because typically Jayden's hours may differ. So these may or may not be the same amount. They may be the same, but if his gross pay goes up or down, then these could go up or down, the amount that's taken out. So the total for his deductions, the things that were removed from his paycheck, added up to $507.00. Okay. So you take the $1,267.50 and you subtract $507, and that is your net pay. So if you look down here at the very bottom, it says net pay, NET pay. That is for this period, this pay period from June 1st to June 14th, $760.50. So Jayden received or earned $760.50 that was deposited into his bank account or got a paycheck for that amount. So this YTD, that's a question I asked you on the pretest. YTD. What is YTD? Well, I'm going to tell you. It is year to date. So year to date means how much money since January has Jayden made accumulative over all that period of time. So it could have actually been from January to June 1st, or if Jayden started this, if he was hired on in March, it could be from March to June. It just depends. But however much money since he's been working there in the current year, so the current year for us is 2021, in the current year, how much has he made? So for this year to date, remember that, year to date, YTD, gross pay, so far this year, whatever year this is in, for us it's 2021, Jayden has made $13,942.50. $13,942.50 is how much he's made gross pay since the beginning of this, throughout this year that he's had. And the net pay, the amount that he's actually taken home and has been put in his bank account, has been $8,365.50. So I know this is really confusing, but I want to try to teach you as much as I can so that you understand what this all means, okay? So for this paycheck, Jayden was deposited $760.50 into his bank account. Although he made $1,267.50, he had $507 in deductions. So that's why he is taking home less than he made, because things are going into different pots of money, different accounts going away. Okay? All right. So now let's answer some questions. It's basically, I want you to look at this pay statement, this earnings statement, and answer some questions. These earning statements are just basically a summary. It's a document. You get a document, whether it's online and you print it off, or you get a physical copy with your paycheck. It's a document that summarizes your pay, okay? What earnings you're making, what deductions are coming out, and how much you're getting in your take-home pay. Your net pay, your take-home pay is the same thing. Okay, so it's good to have knowledge of this and to find these things within the paycheck or within the earning statement. So question 1, how many hours did Jayden work this pay period? Remember, you have to look on the left-hand side where it says regular and overtime. Underneath that, it says how many hours. How many hours did he work? Okay, did he work 80 hours, 3 hours, or 83 hours? So how many did he work total this pay period? Question 2, how much was taken out for state tax this pay period? So you have to look at deductions because that's taking out. Look for state tax. How much was taken out for state tax? Was it $228.15? Was it $101.40? Was it $76.05? How much was taken out for state tax? Question 3, how much was taken out for Social Security this pay period? So you have to look at your deductions. How much was deducted for Social Security this pay period? $228.15, $101.40, $76.05. How much was taken out for Social Security? Question 4, how much did Jayden earn for overtime this pay period? So you have to look at his earnings. You have to look at overtime. He got 3 hours of overtime at the rate of $22.50. How much did he earn for those 3 hours total? How much did he earn for this pay period, which means the whole 2 weeks? How much did he earn for his overtime? Was it $22.50? Was it $67.50? Was it $1,200? So find out what he earned for his 3 hours of overtime total this pay period. Question 5, how much was taken for federal tax this pay period? So you got to find a deduction because that's a taken out. A deduction, federal tax deduction. How much was that this pay period? $228.15, $101.40, $76.05. How much was taken for federal tax? Question 6. How much did Jayden take home, which means after deductions, it's also your net pay, this pay period? Did he take home $1,267.50? Did he take home $760.50? Did he take home $8,365.50? What was his take home pay after deductions for this pay period? Not year to date, but this pay period. Question 7. How much did Jayden earn for his gross pay during this pay period? So, this pay period, how much was his gross pay? Not year to date. We're talking about this pay period. $354.90, $760.50, or $1,267.50. How much was his gross pay for this pay period? Question 8. This is the final question. How much was deducted for health insurance for this pay period? So look for health insurance, the deduction side, and find out how much was deducted for this pay period. $76.05, $63.38, $38.02. What was deducted from his paycheck for this pay period for health insurance? Okay, don't forget to submit your quiz and let me know if you have any questions. I know this is a very hard topic to talk about and a lot to think about, but it's very important that I give you this information. I did take out some of the questions that were up here. If you do them, there'll be extra credit, but it's totally fine. So just let me know if you have any questions and I'll try to help you the best I can. All right, I'll see you on the next assignment.